Thank you very much. Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Good, good. It's very nice to be here. We, as Eamon said, have been involved in the conference since 2019 when our executive director for Box.org, which is our nonprofit arm, spoke on a panel, and we've been involved ever since. And we're very, very happy to be sponsoring the conference and to be here today. For those of you who don't know anything about Box, we are what we refer to as a content cloud, and think of this as a place where you take all of your files and store them in our cloud. That's a much more efficient way of doing it than to have everyone have their own servers, so it actually helps from a sustainability perspective and provides a lot of functionality, security, et cetera. We are very happy to have a number of Box customers here at the conference, and particularly happy, I'll be talking in a few minutes with one of our customers, Yve-Car from Kreyol Essence. But I want to talk a little bit about what we do very, very briefly, and then I'll talk about kind of our approach to sustainability and ESG in particular. The way we think about it is a number of processes can be built around your content. We have about 120,000 customers. Many of them are actually nonprofits. And we actually established in 2014 Box.org, which is our nonprofit arm that I mentioned. And when we launched just a little over 10 years ago, we introduced pricing that allows smaller nonprofits to get Box completely for free, and then for larger nonprofits to have a pre-negotiated discount so that it's very affordable for them to do the things that they do. We work a lot with nonprofits in areas like disaster relief, where it's important to be able to get access to files in remote areas or where there's limited capability for online access and so forth. And so a lot of the capabilities of our core product become very, very relevant for the nonprofit space. And we do things like secure external collaboration, compliant content management, workspaces and portals, content workflows, and e-signature processes. So I won't spend a lot of time talking about Box, but I want to just give you kind of a quick introduction to what the product is and what the company is. And myself and my colleague Philippe are here for the rest of the conference if you want to chat more about that. But probably more importantly for this conference, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing from a sustainability perspective. The first, on the left-hand side, is that we've been working on a multi-year architectural change. The company's been around for about 18 years, and we started by building our own data centers. That's obviously not the most efficient way to do things. So we've been working on this project over multiple years to actually shift all of our infrastructure to the public cloud. That becomes much more, again, efficient, reliable, et cetera. So it's beneficial for our customers and for the environment. And we've just completed that project in the last year, and we're very, very pleased that that's complete. On the social impact side, as I mentioned, we have the ability to both discount and give away software, as well as make specific donations to nonprofits. And to date, we've actually donated over $40 million in both hard dollars as well as product discounts to make it easier for nonprofits to get access to our services. And then finally, on the corporate governance side, one of the things we work on a lot is compliance with the various standards around the world. Some of these are relevant mainly for commercial businesses, things like FINRA compliance, but also in the nonprofit space, making sure that we're compliant with local and global regulations is a very, very important part of what we do as a business. But I want to shift now to talking about my role, which is Chief Customer Officer. And what I'm responsible for is making sure that our customers are deriving value from the money that they spend with us. And part of the way we do that is through one of our core values. We have 7 core values. Actually, you heard, I think, Dave yesterday talk about a couple Silicon Valley values like fail fast. That's one of ours. But the one that's closest to my heart is one we call blow our customers' minds. And so we spend a lot of time thinking about what customers need and how we can help them achieve that. And to me, one of the most important things is the listening part. So it's not just us talking to them about what we think they need or how we can help them, but what is useful for them. And one of the things that we've heard over the last few years is the importance of sustainability in how we approach what we do and how we provide our products and services. And so I wanted to give 2 examples. I've been asked not to name the specific organizations, but 2 different companies who have really applied pressure to us in terms of our sustainability goals to match theirs. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how that's affected what we've done with our product and our product roadmap. So the one on the left is a very large biopharmaceutical company based in Europe. You would definitely know the name if I said it. And one of the things they've been driving for, they have a CEO who's very, very invested in this space. And as part of they've been a long-time customer, but as part of our renewal conversations with them, they were very insistent that we start to add language into our contracts around ESG requirements and targets. targets. And through a lot of work on our side, we were able to meet their requirements, renew that customer, and we now have a blueprint for working with them in providing that information going forward to make sure that we're matching their needs of their vendors in this space. So that was one case study. The second is also a name that you would know if I could say it, which is a global consulting firm who, again, in a long-time customer, but in a renewal conversation, was raising questions around our ESG standards. And so we went through a very extensive internal evaluation, was able to share that data with them, and then kind of get through that conversation. So just a couple very, very quick examples about how listening to the customer can actually help drive a company or an organization's approach to sustainability. And with that, enough about Box. I actually want to shift now to one of our favorite customers. And I think we've got Yve-Car on a Zoom. Yve-Car, can you hear us?
We're working on it.
Okay, we're working on it, so she'll be here in just a minute. But, oh, there she is. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I don't think you can see me, but we can all see you. It's very nice to see you again.
Good to see you as well, John.
Yve-Car had a little bit of travel challenges, so she's here virtually, and we're very, very happy. Thank you for hanging on as we were working through some of the timing and logistics. But you started the company about 10 years ago, right around the same time that we started our Box.org, so we've got that in common. Can you talk a little bit about what is Kreyol Essence, a little bit about your background as co-founder and CEO, and then we'll get into some of these questions around listening to our customers.
Sure. So Yve-Car, feel free to call me Evie, CEO and co-founder of Kreyol Essence. Kreyol Essence brings scalp care and skin care, as well as hair growth products that are clinically backed, but indigenous to Haiti. I started Kreyol Essence after having what I call a hair catastrophe. I was in the market for a husband, and I wanted to look my best, and I had my fro and my hairdresser straighten my hair. And I did find the husband that I was looking for. He is my co-founder. But when I washed my hair the next day, it all fell out. Like a good millennial, I called my mom and I said, what's that oil you used when I was growing up? You know, that product that anytime someone has an ailment in our community, we go for it. And she told me, oh, you mean Haitian castor oil. Being that I was in the States, I looked everywhere for it, but everything that was on shelves had hexane, bleach, and other additives. It wasn't the pure product that I grew up with. Fast forward, I said to my mom, why don't I start a business where people can find this ingredient, find this product for their dry hair or their hair ailments, since we know it works. And when we looked at the supply chain, how we were able to work with farmers, women to produce this product, it was a no-brainer for me that we needed to do it. And now we are in over 3,000 retail doors, including Ulta Beauty, Whole Foods, Urban Outfitters, and JCPenney salons.
That's amazing. We're going to dig into this a little bit, but I didn't know that's part of the story with your mom, and it's just amazing how when you have an issue like that, that's your immediate go-to, right?
That's
Call
always
your mom.
the go-to. Go to mom.
And it's a classic like business founding story where you start with a problem that you yourself have, and you realize there's a bunch of other people who also have this problem, and I think I can help solve it. What I'm curious about is how early in that sort of founding journey were you thinking about community and sustainability? Was that right at the get-go, or did it come into the picture a little bit later? How did that begin?
So for us at Kreyol Essence, it began from the beginning. So I was actually a political science major. My goal was to be in government. And I always knew that my path in life had to do with service and helping to create opportunities for those who are not represented. So when looking at how we would produce our oil, the product is great. But what really excited me about the business is that farmers would be able to plant the castor seeds. And I remember being at a conference as we were ideating about the product. I was just carrying it in my purse and showing it to someone. And a customer said, hey, do you know that if you plant castor seeds, it has environmental benefits? That blew my mind. I had no idea. The customer said to me, you know, I'm an agronomist by trade. And when you plant the castor seeds, it's going to help with curtailing deforestation, greenhouse gas emission, and really making sure that we have an impact on people's lives. Now, it was said earlier before that in Black communities, often we don't care about it, or seemingly we haven't made the connection as to why the environment is important. I was no different. My focus was on poverty alleviation, but through our customers and discussions, we were able to connect an issue that is very, very important to us in terms of poverty alleviation and the environment. So when we think about how do we provide income for farmers or even female producers, well, castor is a cash crop. So in addition to the fact that it helped with soil erosion and deforestation, in 3 months, a farmer would be able to get cash in order to continue reinvesting in education in their family. It would allow for them to continue subsistence farming, meaning farming in order to ensure that they had food to eat in their livelihoods. So while we were helping to retool, old lands and acres that had not been utilized, and castor seed helped to really revive the soil, and also looking at how we help to really popularize not cutting down trees. Because in a developing country like Haiti, the way people made money was to cut down the trees for charcoal and to create energy. But by flipping the rationale about how to make money through positive farming practices, that became a game changer for how an entire community looked at the something that wasn't as sexy as environmental positivity and really making sure that we take care of our land.
And what's really cool is that spark that you started with came from one of your customers who said, did you know that? And that became a key part. Do you have other examples of just sort of listening to customers? I also want to talk about other stakeholders. We'll start with customers that have kind of driven how you've approached the business or bringing it to market.
Absolutely. Another thing that I think is really important when we talk about our stakeholders and our producers is the fact that they are our number one goal and folks that we look at, but also that's who our customers are really making sure that they create work for. So when we think about the livelihood of our producers and how are we making sure that they are healthy, one of the things our customers asked was, well, what are the conditions within our facility in Haiti? So immediately we started thinking about, well, what is our carbon footprint? How do we take things like solar energy and popularize it as a small business? So we worked with our producers and from the directive of our customers to actually build a completely solar powered facility in Haiti. And we had to also speak to our community to see, does that make sense? And do they understand why we're building a solar powered facility? And it actually made a lot of sense to the team. And because in Haiti, lots of sunlight, it was actually seen as advantageous. And it also became a community project because that's where their kids would come to power their laptops, to power their phones, because electricity is not 24/7 in Haiti. The last example I will give is when thinking about sustainability. We started off with our products being in plastic. And if anyone knows anything about the cosmetic industry, we create billions of waste through your favorite shampoo bottle or your favorite, body wash. So our customers started the dialogue around, well, how can we continue the social impact beyond what we've done for economic, activity for farmers and producers? How do we make sure, even right here at home in the US, which is the predominant area where our customers buy our products, that we make sure that we're not adding to the problem? So that's when we switch to glass bottles. And then if we do have plastic bottles, we ensure that it's something that we can recycle in order to reduce our footprint in the environment. But that is being really led by conversations from our customers. Our tribe is what we call everyone. And they are very, very active with us on social media and in person, which allows for a great dialogue.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, so you talk about listening to customers, how do you hear them? You mentioned social media, in person, maybe just bumping into people, conferences, but one of the things I wanted to ask you was for people who are thinking about this, any advice you would give them about how to better listen to your, again, customers and other stakeholders? What's worked for you?
Yes, I have to say that our customer base, we make sure to go where they are. Our customer base is very active on Instagram, and we don't just post about our products. If you go on our Instagram page, which is at Kreyol Essence, Kreyol Essence, you will see that every Friday we have community conversation. And those actually go viral most of the time. And we think about what are the pressing issues du jour that our customers want to talk about. So we're not limited to just hair care and skin care. That's a big part of what we talk about. But what are the other community related happenings that our customers care about? That is how we make sure that we're consistently staying engaged with them and making sure that we're connected.
Okay. You mentioned also some other stakeholders who provided input as well, including some of your factory workers. Do you have an example like that?
Yes. So we have both warehouses in Haiti as well, right here in Miami, where I am today. And we created a little friendly competition among our staff to think about what are innovative ideas where not only can they reduce waste, but also reduce cost. Well, one of our warehouse employees or associates who is actually from Haiti, she looked at how we were packaging and sending our D2C, our e-commerce products to customers. She looked at the mountains of boxes that we had in the warehouse that came from products being inbound and said, I know exactly how to reuse it. So not only did she save us thousands of dollars, but she helped to reduce and ensure that we were upcycling a lot of the packaging that was coming into our warehouse. And that became a standard across both warehouses in the US as well as Haiti because of her innovation. Our innovations director, we were thinking about, for our customers, science and indigenous ingredients are important. And we talk a lot about how do we ensure that we are good stewards of our of the world and making sure that we do not cause harm by extracting plants and ingredients and making sure that we're doing so in a sustainable manner. So she decided to think of a biotech ingredient that we could merge and fuse in with our indigenous Haitian castor oil and other essential oils. And that biotech ingredient is now one of our #1 selling products at Ulta. Not only is it proven to reduce hair loss by 214%, it's also making sure that we are not rushing production, rushing extraction out of our products to get more yield. And it allows us to work along with nature versus against nature. So those are some of the examples that from our customers, our staff, and really our community come together for conversation. And it's an evolving process every single day to figure out how do we do better for the world as well as ourselves.
That is amazing. I just love the story. It particularly warms my heart as Chief Customer Officer to hear about the listening to customers and adjusting your path based on what you're hearing. So congratulations on an amazing 10-year run. I hope you have many more. You did mention at the beginning that you thought you might go into government at some point. I think that still could happen. What do you think?
We've got a lot of work to do in our government. I'm happy to play my part. The idea of being a social entrepreneur actually came because I know that the power of business and the power of community and the power of politics all intersect. And when you have disenfranchised communities stepping up to the plate and being active not only with their votes, but their dollars, which I think is critical, you start to see change. You start to see microcosms of what the world can be. And I think that is my path for now. And when in time to support those on the political track, I will do so. And when it's my time as well, I'll make sure to be there.
All right, well, remember that phase, and that's an amazing message to wrap with. Thank you so much, both for your partnership as a customer and for being here and telling the story. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you again.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Yve-Car.
Missing you all at the conference.
All right. Thanks all very much.